Really like a logistical, is that a word? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is the day, the video you have all been asking for. It is my most requested video at the moment, and that is tips for student teachers. I have a list on my phone of tips that were either given to me or things that I found out along my journey that I'm really thinking will help you guys out if you are student teaching or you're thinking about entering the teaching profession. So hopefully you find these helpful. Now, I can only speak from my experience. Every single state in the United States or country is totally different when it comes to the requirements for student teaching. So me personally, as I've mentioned before, I student taught in 1st grade and in 6th grade. Now the program that I went through, I had to complete, it was a year and a half of student teaching. Now, I was only in the classroom like either 1 or 2 days a week for my first year, and then my last 6 months I was there 4 days a week. So I had an extensive student teaching experience and I learned a ton. So I'm gonna be sharing some of the things that I learned with you along the way today. That rhymed. So if you would like to see my tips for student teachers, go ahead and keep on watching. Pause before I start. Make sure you subscribe. Thanks. Okay, so these aren't in any particular order or anything. As they came to my mind throughout the weeks, I just kind of threw them in my phone. I haven't even really gone through the list, so I'm just gonna be going boom, 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 boom down the list. Some of these are a little bit obvious. Others you might not have thought of before, so hopefully they help you in some way. So, number 1, let's see. So this first tip was given to us by our teachers and mentors through our program, and that is get to know the staff and get to know the principals. When you are student teaching, you are constantly on a job interview. That was what we were told, and that's kind of how I treated it. So get to know the people around you. Get to know your team teachers. Get to know other grade level teachers. Really get to know your principal, because these are the kind of people that are gonna be writing you letters of recommendation when you go to apply for your first teaching job. Like literally on your first day, walk up to the principal and introduce yourself. It needs to be done. It's gonna be awkward. It really is. You're gonna be nervous, but you will thank me in the long run, because my principal and vice principal wrote me a stellar recommendation because they actually knew who I was. You're not gonna be the only student teacher. I mean, I don't know that, but I was definitely not the only student teacher at my site. So you might get lost in the mix of things. So go the extra mile and get to know the people around you. So don't only get to know the staff, but really get to know your school. Get to know where things are. Where are the bathrooms? Where's the cafeteria? Where's the art room? Where's the music room? Get to know the area, because more than likely, you're gonna be picking your kids up, you're gonna be taking them to different classes, so get to know your space, get to know your surroundings, get to know where you are. Where's the staff room? That's another big one. Because you're gonna be making copies, you're gonna be doing things that those teachers do on a day-to-day basis, so you really need to know the lay of the land, so to speak. So kind of on that note, this wasn't in my phone, but it's just kind of coming to me, and I wish somebody would have told me this because I kind of just found it out on my own, but don't be afraid of the staff room. Do not be afraid of the staff room. You are working at that school, you are equally as part of the staff as everybody else. You might not be getting paid, but you are part of the staff. Go in there, get to know the other teachers. Like I said, it's gonna be uncomfortable, it's gonna be awkward, but just do it. They're super nice, they're not gonna bite your heads off, they're probably gonna be super helpful. If you need anything, they're gonna be right there having your back. So don't be afraid of the staff room. Okay, so my next tip is kind of along those same lines of every day is pretty much an interview. Dress professionally, okay? And I don't mean like wear a suit every single day or like a really fancy dress, but you're on a job interview, so dress the part. I did have one incident when I was student teaching, and it was like totally my bad. I wore a shirt that I didn't realize the back was as see-through as it was, and the principal of my school kind of came up to me and she was like, hey, like just so you know, you can kind of see, like how embarrassing, how awkward, right? I mean, you couldn't see anything, but still, like, I didn't want to be portrayed that way, and I was really like disappointed in myself because I always want to portray myself really professionally, and that like was one thing that I learned really, really quickly. So really take the time to think about what you're gonna be wearing and things like that. I know it sounds silly, but like I said, you're always on a job interview, everyone's always watching you. Spots might be opening up at that school, you might be a candidate for a full-time position, okay? And I promise you they're gonna choose a person who took it seriously and treated it like a job over the person that was a little bit more lackadaisical about it. So definitely be professional when you're on the school campus. This next tip was actually an assignment that we had to do through our program, but it was a really good idea, and so I want to share it with you guys. And what that is your first few days of student teaching, you're not going to be teaching, you're just going to be observing, right? So take notes. Look around the room. What do you notice? What do you like that you might want to implement in your own classroom? What do you not like? Okay, I referenced my notes when I was setting up my classroom more than I can even tell you, because I was like, oh wait, yeah, they did that and I really like that. It worked really well. Or I noticed that a certain way of behavior management that one of my teachers was doing didn't work, so I took note of that. So take notes. Take notes every single day you're observing. Sorry, I keep touching my hair. Get over it. This next tip might be the most important tip, and it's one of those ones that's kind of obvious, but a lot of people don't do it. And that is to ask questions. Ask any and every question that you can think of while you're going through your placement, because the professionals are there to help, right? They've been through it, they're veteran teachers more than likely, and they're gonna have answers for you. Now, not all mentor teachers are gonna be that amazing. Like, that's just the truth. Okay, so teachers tend to do things like second nature. Like, they might plan something, they might choose an instructional strategy just like by second nature, and they might forget to like dictate that to you and tell you what's going on and why they're making the choices that they're making, because it's what they do, it's second nature to them. So you have to take control and you have to say, okay, wait, can you pause for a second and can you explain that to me? Or ask any questions that you can think of. I'm serious. This is what's gonna make you a better teacher. This is what's gonna make you more comfortable when you get up to teach your own lesson. I can't stress this enough, is just to ask questions. Maybe not even just your mentor teacher, other teachers in the staff room, your principal. If you're feeling uneasy about something, talk about it, ask questions. A big question that I wish I would have asked, like when I was starting my first year of teaching this year, was how do you chunk your day? Why do you chunk your day the way you chunk it? How much time do you leave for certain subject areas? Like certain things like that that you might not think of right away, but throughout your placement, you're gonna start noticing. Ask the question. There is no such thing as a dumb question when you're student teaching, I promise you. Another question that I wish I would have asked, and there was so much going on that I didn't think about it, was like, how do you plan your assessments? Do you backwards plan? Do you just use the curriculum? Do you create your own assessments? Assessments is one of the things that I wish I would have focused on a little bit more during my student teaching. You're gonna be super overwhelmed with all this, like there's so much stuff, right? You're gonna be doing so much stuff. So don't forget about assessments. I think it's something that gets overlooked, but it's super important. So definitely put that down on your list of questions to ask. My next tip is something that I didn't get to do enough of, and I wish I would have, and this is to go to any and every event at that school. And I'm not meaning like dances and things like that, which you should go to. I did and it was really fun, but I mean like staff meetings. Go to your staff meetings. You're a part of that team, whether you're getting paid, like I said, or not. Go to the staff meetings, it's really interesting, take notes. IEP meetings, that's the big one that I didn't get to go to, but oh my God, you're gonna be a first year teacher and you're gonna go to your first IEP and you just kind of have to fake it till you make it. Be like, yeah, I know what I'm doing, but I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't, so I just kind of sat back and watched it unfold. But if you can, go to an IEP meeting just so you can see how it goes, what kind of things you need to prepare as a teacher in that department. Go to grade level planning. That is something that I did. I was really grateful for that. You can see how the teachers collaborate with one another. You start to notice that not all teachers do the exact same things, and that's okay. So definitely go to at least one grade level planning if they'll let you. Some teachers might not want you to be there for whatever reason, but if you can, go. At least ask. I mean, the worst they could say is no, but it's something that I think it would be really beneficial for you guys to be a part of. So the next tip is, I would say, equally as important as the last one, but this is to have really good reflective conversations with your mentor teacher. Like I said, not all mentor teachers are gonna be the best mentors. So you kind of have to force these conversations sometimes. That means every time a lesson's taught or every time you teach a lesson, reflect, like an immediate reflection. Every time I taught a lesson, I had a notebook and I would write down things that went well, things that didn't go well, and we had conversations about each lesson. You are there to practice, okay? Your mentor teacher does not expect you to get up there and just rock it. You might, and that could be great, but at the same time, like, they know you're gonna fumble, they're there to help you if you fall, but you need to have those reflective conversations because that's what's going to make you grow and that's what's gonna make you more confident the next time you teach. So have a notebook, be reflective in your notebook, have reflective conversations, because I'm telling you, that will be the key to you being a better teacher. And in these conversations, like I said, talk about things that went well, things that you didn't go well. Transitions are a big one that I struggled with when I was student teaching because it's just something you don't think about. You're so worried about teaching the content that you forget about the little things that really make a lesson flow, like transitions and timing and things like that. So acknowledge it, talk about it, learn from it, and the next time you teach, you'll be even that much better. So definitely reflect. So this tip, isn't something that I personally experienced, but I just kind of want to touch on it briefly because if it does happen to you, I want you to fix it. And there are going to be times, not everyone, it wasn't me, but you might not mesh with your mentor teacher. You just might not, okay? They might not be helping you in the way that you think you deserve to be helped because that's their job. Their job is to be a mentor teacher, or your personalities just might not, they just might clash. That might happen. So I'm telling you now, if that does happen, deal with it sooner rather than later. Go talk to your supervisor, get a new placement, because halfway through the year it's gonna be too late and you're gonna be stuck there. And that happened to a friend of mine and she was kind of miserable. And so I'm telling you now, if it's a bad vibe, if it's just not working out, go talk to somebody and get moved, okay? And I don't mean go get moved because you don't like the grade that you're in or because you think that they're strict. Like, no, I'm talking if you have some really personal issues with this teacher or you just don't think you're gonna learn, then go deal with it, get it switched, figure it out. I just wanted to throw this in there because I had friends, like I said, make that same mistake and I don't want it to happen to you. My next tip is to co-teach whenever possible. And what I mean by co-teaching is with the classroom teacher, okay? So they're gonna be teaching a lesson and a lot of times they'll ask if you wanna co-teach. Do it. The more practice you get, the better. And co-teaching is really fun because whenever you might have a brain fart or something, that teacher's right there to fill in the holes. Or they might be teaching and you might notice something and you can fill in the hole. So co-teaching is really, really fun and it's such a good way to practice because you have like support literally right next to you. And it's just something that I really recommend. I wish I would have done more of it, to be honest. I did a lot of like soloing and like solo lessons. I didn't get to co-teach a ton, but when I did do it, it was really, really beneficial for me. So co-teach when you can. Another quick tip, you may or may not be the only student teacher at your site. If you are the only one, this might not apply to you. Like I said earlier, I was at a school with like 10 other student teachers. We were all in the same cohort, so we were pretty close, but my tip would be to not compare yourself to the other student teachers. You're all gonna be in different grade levels. You're all gonna be working on different lessons. You're all gonna have different relationships with your mentor teachers. I know it can be easy to start comparing yourself to these other teachers and like psych yourself out. Just don't do that. You're all on your own journey and you gotta make the most of your own journey. So I just really quickly wanted to throw that in there because I know some people that struggled with that and I just wanna give you a heads up. Don't be that person. It's only gonna hurt you in the long run. Okay, this is the tip that you're probably not gonna wanna hear because there's no magic bullet for this. There's gonna be the day where, oh my God, you have to teach your first lesson, you're freaking out, you're like butterflies in your stomach. Trust me, I was there, and there really is no advice. The only advice I can give you is to just swallow your fear and do it. Do not put off teaching, like actually teaching, too long because then you're just gonna psych yourself out and you're not gonna do it. Get up there and do it. The only thing I can maybe recommend is start with something small, maybe like a read aloud, just getting comfortable being in front of the kids, and then from there build on your lessons so it doesn't seem as scary. But it is scary, I'm not gonna lie to you. You've never done this before, right? It's anytime you try something new. So my advice would be just do it. We're gonna be Nike here for a minute. Just do it. This is the best practice you're ever gonna have before you have your own classroom. And like I said, these teachers are expecting you to mess up, okay? It's not about teaching the perfect lesson. Like, your lessons are gonna bomb. They are, but that's part of the process, okay? So just get up there, put on your big girl panties or your big boy panties and just do it. You're gonna do fine. You're gonna have a reflective conversation when you're done. You're gonna learn and you're gonna move on. And by the time you're done with your student teaching placement, you're going to be ready to rock it on your own, I promise. So just practice as much as you can, teach as much as you can. It's easy to become complacent sitting in the back and observing. I was there at a certain point in my student teaching and I kind of had a conversation with my teacher and she was like, you gotta get up here, you gotta just teach. And I'm like, I know you're right, ah! So don't become complacent observing. There are days when for sure you just need to observe and take it all in. But do not be afraid to get up there and teach, okay? You're gonna be teaching every single day in your professional career. So do it now while you got the help and the support next to you. This is another just quick little tip to throw in there. you are going to be overwhelmed. More than likely, you're going to be in some sort of teaching credential program on top of your student teaching or internship. So that means you're gonna have coursework as well as showing up and student teaching each day. And you're gonna have assignments during your student teaching on top of your coursework. So my advice would be just balance it out. Do not wait till the last minute to get things done. Especially, I mean, I don't know, in California we have something called the PACT. It's a really big assignment we turn in at the end of the year that pretty much we prove to the state of California that we know what we're talking about, we're ready to teach. It's long and it takes a while. It's hard, so do not put things like that off while you're student teaching, because if you let it all build up, you're gonna freak out, okay? I wasn't there personally, but I had friends that were, and it was not pretty. So just stay on top of your schoolwork, stay organized, and it will pay off, I promise. So piggybacking off of that, my last tip for you is to stay balanced. And I mean that with teaching and your personal life. There's a lot of emotions that come with student teaching, and you're gonna be stressed and overwhelmed with your schoolwork and stuff, but you gotta at some point just turn it off, stay balanced, and still enjoy things in your personal life. Like I was in the program for 1.5 years, and for the first 6 months, my family was like, we never see you, like, and you are busy. Like that's just fact. Like you're gonna be busy, but at the same time, you need to take, whether it's a day or 2 days from your week, to just turn off your teacher brain, go outside, do something that you love to do, hang out with the people that love you, because you're gonna need it. You're gonna need a lot of support, and taking days for yourself is super important for your mental health. I can't stress that enough, and it's gonna make it that much easier to get through it. So those are the biggest tips I have for you student teachers out there, or if you're going to start student teaching. You're gonna rock it, you're gonna do fine. I am so proud of you. We need more teachers in the world that are passionate about what we do, and I'm so excited for you to start your journey. If you're starting to student teach, or you're in the middle of student teaching, leave a comment down below and tell me what grade you're teaching, because I'm here for you. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them below, and I will do my best to try and help you out. Reach out to teachers in your community, because we are the best support for one another. We've all been through it, we've all been there. So there's no one better to talk to than a fellow teacher. So that wraps up this video. I hope it was everything you were waiting for, because I know that you guys have been waiting for a while for this video. So please take a moment to subscribe if you haven't already, and click that little bell that notifies you whenever I post another video. I am currently on spring break, so I'm gonna try and get some videos up throughout the week. I think I'm gonna do a day in the life of a teacher on spring break vlog, and a behavior management kind of sit down chat video. Let me know what you think. If you have any other suggestions, go ahead and leave them down below. Other than that, I will see you guys next time. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you soon.